What is up, guys? It is Bucky and welcome to your 14th Objective-C tutorial. And in this tutorial we're going to be talking about something called a nested for loop. Now you already know what a for loop is, and what a nested for loop is a for loop inside of another for loop. So why would you want this? Well, we already made a program with a for loop, no big deal. But what if we wanted to run that entire program, let's say 3 times? Well, what we need to do is put it inside another for loop with a loop count of 3, and then it would run that entire program 3 times. So let's go ahead and demonstrate this, and I'm also going to be teaching you guys a couple other cool tricks as well. Or maybe I'm not. I guess you guys are going to have to wait and see. We first need that int variable called user num, and this is going to store the variable that the user enters, of course. And now let's go ahead and make our outside for loop. So we want this entire program to run 3 times. So what we would do is put int a and set this equal to 1. And now what we need to do is put a is less than or equal to 3 in a++. So now whatever we put inside this loop is going to run 3 times. You can put an entire program inside here, and that's what we're going to be doing. So, and don't forget, I don't know if I told you this or not, maybe this is one of those cool tricks. You can declare a variable, which means give a data type right inside the loop declaration. So you don't have to put int a up here and then a equals 1. You can do it all inside the for loop. And now with that being said, inside this for loop, whatever we put in here is going to run 3 times. So let's go ahead and put our program, ns log, and inside we'll make this program a little bit different. Put enter a number and we will print it that number of times. So for example, let's add an exclamation point. If they enter 5, it's going to print out 55555. If they enter 3, it's going to print out 333. Not only print that number, but print it that many number of times. Pretty cool, huh? And now after this, we need to give them a way to enter the number. So we know that awesome scanf function from last time. And they are going to be enter integers, and of course put enter or ampersand, sorry, and then put user num. So whatever number they enter is going to be stored in the variable user num. And remember, these two things are going to be repeated 3 times so far. So now after this, we can go ahead and make a for loop. So go ahead and put for int, we'll name another variable b. So we really have 3 variables in this program: user num, the counter for the outside for loop, and the counter for the inside for loop, a and b respectively. So now we'll set this equal to 1 to begin with, because you pretty much do it every time. And you put b is less than or equal to user num, and this is going to allow it to print it out this many number of times. So now after this, go ahead and put b++. And now, since we don't have multiple lines of code, we only have 1 line, we don't need curly braces. Curly braces are only needed when you have a block of code, and a block of code means more lines than 1. When you don't have a block of code and you only have 1 instruction, then you don't need curly braces around it, but you can, it's optional. So let's go ahead and put, let's just go ahead and print out the number ns log, and put an @ sign and put %i and user, come on us, user num. And I got to blow my nose, 1 second. And I'm not going to pause it either. Where's my hanky? Where's my hanky? Here's my hanky. Yeah, it's gross. I know. And you guys are like, Bucky, are you going to edit that out? Well, obviously not, because I'm really lazy and I have a runny nose. Ugh. Alright, game time. Alright, so now, our program should work fine. Let's go ahead and run this and see how it does. Save it, and let's see. Enter a number and we will print it out that number of times. So let's go ahead and under 4, and it says 4444. It runs the entire program again. enter a number, and we will print it out that many number of times. 6. 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6. Enter a number, and we will run it that many number of times. 2. 2, 2. And now our program, the entire program exited with status of 0, which means everything went well. So let's review one last time what this did. We have this inner program here that is really simple. It says enter a number, we enter a number, and it stores it in the variable user num. And then what it does is it loops through that many number of times, printing that number each time. So if we entered 5, it would print 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. Pretty boring, but it's a core concept. It's a small program, and what we did is we took that small program and we encapsulated it in a bigger program that ran a set number of 3 times. So now if you have like 3 different users, they can each do the program once, or if you have one user who wants to do it 3 times, this is how you do it. So again, this isn't really a useful program that you would use anytime, but it demonstrates the possibilities of a for loop. Check this out, a for loop inside of another for loop and why it can be useful. So later on we'll be using this, and it'll actually be useful in bigger, more complex programs. But for right now, I just wanted to demonstrate the concept to you guys. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and check out my next video. Oh, and check out my blog too. It's pretty flippin' sweet.